Come along for an adventure high in the Ouachitas. We'll see some amazing views, and I'll answer some of your questions as I camp on Snake Mountain.
Hello and welcome to the Oklahoma Hiker YouTube channel. Today I am doing an adventure of a different kind. I'm actually not focusing on the hike today because this is a hike I've already covered. I am going to Backcountry camp at the summit of Snake Mountain. This is along the Horse Thief Spring Trail, which I have actually already done a video, so I'll put a link for it up here in one of these corners, or maybe down here. Anyway, I'm excited. I've parked as close as I can to the campsite and the access point here. And it shouldn't be a horrible walk to get there. Of course, it is a bit of a bushwhack. So I'm going to take you along. Come along. The view has opened up, and that means I'm to camp. I'm so excited. Well, I have arrived at camp and I have gotten set up. So here is this is the hotel for tonight. I can't think of much of a better place here. Let's go see it. I think that it would be kind of neat to see what's inside. All right, so here we have the hammock. Now, this is a Grand Trunk skeeter beater, which means it comes with a net to keep the mosquitoes off. It's easy to zip up and easy to get into. Now, as far as gear here, I have a Nemo Forte. This one goes down to 35 degrees, and it has these nice vents in terms of a sleeping bag. So if I get hot, I can unzip them. And if I get cool, I can go ahead and zip them back. I love Nemo, so I've got their, I think it's a philo pillow. And then underneath, I have another Nemo item, the Tensor. This is a sleeping pad that you fill up with air, and it makes everything so much more comfortable. Underneath it, I have this Featherstone pad as well. It's a foam pad. So it keeps my butt warm because these nights that are even like 50 or 45, those get kind of chilly on a bum without any sort of protection underneath. So I am all set up. Now that camp is set up, I can enjoy the view, and my goodness, look at this. We are just at the beginning of fall. And of course, this far south stuff is just barely showing, but it's still putting on quite a show for the eyes. Well, I've gone to all the trouble of driving here and hiking up to the top of this mountain and setting up camp and checking out a big rock vista. I think it is time to enjoy a little relaxation because there is nothing better when you are camping alone than just swinging in a hammock, as long as the temperatures are nice. Look at this view. Relaxation has been very nice, but I have worked up an appetite, so I thought I would show you the dinner preparations and kind of how that goes. So some of the basic things that I take out are I always have a bag of all my foods that I'm going to need for the trip. This doesn't include the snacks, but it includes all the major meals. So I've got like breakfast and coffee in here. And of course, I've got a thing to pour it into and the filters. Tonight, though, I'm having this Thai peanut noodles. And I've got all the parts here. I also saved the box just in case I want to start a fire later. That can serve a dual purpose of course, giving you the directions to cook your stuff and actually getting to start a fire with it. So I don't have to pack it out. Now, the things I'm going to need for my little meal tonight on the mountain, I'm going to need this fuel canister because I am going to put a little stove on top of it. That stove is right here. Going to go ahead and pull that out and screw it onto the top of the canister. Something else that you need, of course, to cook with is a pot. I have this handy dandy Sea to Summit is the brand pot, and inside we have a cup and a cup holder so that you don't burn yourself on that morning coffee. And it also has a lid so that you can keep that coffee warm. And we have a little bowl as well. So that, I sometimes use this, I sometimes don't. Usually I just eat out of this so that I don't dirty up something extra. Something else you're going to need, of course, is your trusty camp spoon. Dinner is ready. I gotta show you this. Look at this. Oh. Anyway, I am going to dig into this here. Well, right here where the butt groove is in the rock. And I'm not going to show you too much of that because I'm sure there will be some slurping. Good morning and welcome to day 2 of Oklahoma Hikers' big camping adventure. It's not so big, but it's an adventure and it's fun. So speaking of adventure, it has surprised me this morning because there has been some rain and there was no rain in the forecast. So of course I didn't bring the rain fly. But I do have this handy dandy little thing here. I'm not going to go too low because I know what I have on, and it's nothing. Anyway, so that has been my lifesaver, that little green thing that I've thrown over. My friend Kelly gave me that. Thank you, Kelly. I love it. Anyway, so I have coffee to make this morning. I cannot wait. But I also have this view. Oh, it's so pretty. All right. We've seen that before. But I'm going to show it over and over again because I'm just like, oh, that's right there. Several of you have asked questions about my first aid kit, and I actually got just a tiny little cut on my finger here yesterday as I was going through some brush, so I think now would be a good time to treat the wound and show you what I carry. So I have this little white box here. It was a travel first aid kit, but since I bought it several years ago, of course, I've gone through all of the stuff in it. So what it's comprised of now is just stuff that I have put into my kit intentionally versus what I purchased. So a real quick look of what I've got in here. I'm going to show you. I have some of this like gauze stuff that sticks to itself in case I need to wrap a wound. I've got tape for it. Here in the middle of the tape, I do have a little baggie of ibuprofen should I need that.
I have a Neosporin cream here so that cuts and stuff don't get infected. Lots of Band-Aids. I also have some alcohol prep pads and some larger bandages should you have a larger wound. I haven't had to use those but once, but they certainly came in handy whenever I had them. So I'm going to treat this poor little baby here very quickly and easily and be glad that I had my first aid kit.
Something to think about when you're backcountry camping is that these places do not have trash cans. They don't have like regular maintenance folks. So it's our jobs as campers and adventurers and hikers to leave them a little bit better than we found them and to do some of the work that it takes to keep these sites looking great. So my project this time was that I picked up all of the little trash fragments whenever I got here. And also this fire ring back behind me, it was in terrible disarray. So I went ahead and stacked up the rocks again and made it nice and safe and secure for the next folks. Goodbye, Snake Mountain. You were a beautiful spot to spend the night. Pretty lucky. I always think that when I get out here. It is just a privilege to get to be out here and see this. Now I get to walk back, and it's not far to the truck, thankfully, so I'll be back in plenty of time for work later today.
My adventure may be winding down, but you can keep exploring with these great Ouachita hikes.